knows a thing or two about forging art. He's been doing it for decades. That is, until 1998, when the FBI began a 5-year investigation into Ken.
See, modern paintings take a different type of aging than an antique painting.
He had passed off his forgeries of 19th century artists in major international auction houses.
2 FBI men walked in that door.
What was your explanation?
I simply told them that I was very lucky at finding them in flea markets.
Another show, another headache.
Really, no. But if they would have opened the door back there, they would have said, we've just hit the jackpot.
He perfected imitations of James E. Buttersworth, a 19th century English painter. How many people have fakes of yours? Let's just take the Buttersworth, for example. How many people have this in their home and think they have a Buttersworth original?
Well, it's hard to say. I've painted so many of them through the years, but put it this way. Every so often one turns up in a magazine or a catalog, and it's like bumping into an old friend.
Can you believe what you've just seen? Was it... Well, I'd like to learn a little bit more about how you make forgeries. Because it seems to me it's a lot more difficult selling originals than it is to recreate what predominantly has already sold and recreating it. So let's have a little look at how he does it.
I am Max Brandett, master forger, and I made over £500,000 forging art. This is how crime works. Those days you didn't have the technology to send them up to the lab to be tested. Today you would never get away with it. They can tell you the day you painted it, the colour, how old it is, the canvas has got to be right. You know, you can't forge. So in my day, you didn't have all this technology. From the 60s, 68 to the 70s is when you could still hit it. Yeah, but not today. No way. We used to buy what we call pot boilers. Pot boilers are old rubbish pictures that somebody would be an amateur. But as long as the canvas at the back was right, you couldn't do an old picture from the 17 or 1800s on a canvas that's mitered. You had to do it sort of when it's looking the part. If you did it on the auctioneer would suss it out. And if they've got a bowl of flowers on or landscape, you rub it down, you sand it down to a flat level, prime it, gesso primer, undercoat on top of that, white undercoat, do the sides, and then do your painting. As for starting, do the sky, get the drying system done, with a Brolac undercoat, air dryer, then you just sketch it out. So that was the preparation. I think this is where the experts couldn't work out, well, if this is a fake, I can match the colour. It's just there, it's just, I see it and I think, I would know the colour straight away, what to use, you know. If you use oil paints, your normal oil paints, it takes probably about 3 months to dry, right? But my little way of doing it was I found a quick drying process, Brolac or any house undercoat, white undercoat. And then you put that with your paint, you put your hairdryer over it and it will dry probably in about 2 hours. That's why we could do so many, and that was it. So the aging is a whole new world. What do you think happens when you've got a picture in a frame for years and years and years? So when it's inside the slip frame, it will be clean, won't it? And all the dirt will show. So we used to age it, fake it up with a walnut scrumble, like dirty sort of tea stone colour, and then get your terps and run your finger down with the cloths all the way around so you've got a neat line. So when they say, oh, it's been in the frame for years and years, put it back in the frame, that was it. I wanted to crack the pictures. Hence a very magic thing which somebody showed me years ago from an old guy that used to restore. He said, bee glue is perfect. Bee glue is a Scotch glue. It's used for woodwork. Well, you're too young to remember, but it was always a smelly sort of gooey look. So I bought £2 of this. I put it in a saucepan, he told me. Overnight, next morning it's a jelly. And you think, right, put it on the stove, bring it up to a varnish.
Could you do those kind of forgeries at that level of expertise? Obviously,
it goes too thick, so you just got to get it right. Get your picture right, you get your picture, you give it a coat of this varnish, this bead glue varnish, you take it to a heater. It has to be an electric heater, it can't be dry heat, and you circulate the painting like that, and you think, God, it's cracking, it's working, and you do a bit on the top of the sky, and if you look at it, you can actually hear it cracking. Wash off the bead glue with warm water on your tap, and then you've got all the cracks, empty your hoover on it, rub all the hoover in, all the dirt, all the cracks filled with dirt. And then after that, the nails that you've had in the garden for 6 months, in the tin, because you put water in, they've rusted, make sure that the nails go back in the place where it was, because they'll suss you out. Tap it all back, under glass, white polish, back in the frame, talcum powder, because it smelts after a while, it takes off the bead glue stink, and it rots, to be honest, and then hence you've got it. So there we go, on there looking good, auction room, Saturday, 3 or 4 of those, boom.
So what do you think? Could you do those kind of forgeries at that level of expertise? Obviously going and seeing John Drew with his 165 IQ, he'll be very, very happy to give you a certificate of authenticity. At a cost, obviously. And off you toddle. And like some of these very established forgers have said, go to car boot sales, get old original art materials, slap a bit of motion paint over it, and away you go. Oh, we're learning so much more. Now, the other videos, because this was forgery, then we're going to get into the illegal theft of artwork. Billy Brush Mumford was one of them. Incarcerated under Her Majesty's establishment and learnt his trade there. I made a lot of money forging. We're going to look at some more other ones that just keep you going. You're going to love it, love it, love it.
Places today, with fakes and misattributions estimated to be as high as 50% of all works in the art market.
So, 6 million too.
To combat this, there has sprung a multi-billion-dollar industry of authentication services. However, away from the premier art circuit, there is a blind spot where forgeries get through with ease. Henty and Billy the Brush Mumford, 2 convicted forgers who have made thousands selling their fakes on eBay. The 2 lads like to go to this car boot sale to find historical materials appropriate to whatever they're forging. Although they
You're thinking, if I get a little canvas like that, I'll stick something on it. You get some good ideas from it.
We're going to go down to the market now, but just before that, unfortunately I served some time in a prison about 2 or 3 minutes away. So we might go via...
How did you get into art forgery?
Well, I was dismissed from St Martin's in 1968. It was something to do with me being intoxicated in a life drawing class. It was either get a job or use what limited artistic skills I had, and that's the road I went down.
Do you still forge art?
No, not at all. Wouldn't touch it with a barge pole.
Do you do any art?
Yeah, I do sometimes, yeah.
Do they look similar to any other pieces of art?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
So have you served any time?
I'd like to learn a little bit more about how you make forgeries.
Time for art forgery?
I served time for forging passports.
Right.
I went into the prison art department. Thought I'd just go in there and read about art and learn about it. But the teachers there said, no, you've got to actually paint. When I came out, I thought this is what I want to do. It's difficult to sell your own work. But then I painted a lovely little Paul Henry, Irish artist. I put it on, I got £1,000.
Okay.
We're going to go, we're going to miss all the old canvases.
You certainly are.
What's your favourite thing about the artwork?
The money. So to be an artist, you have to steal a space on a rich man's wall. And I love that. I don't forge famous artists, but I do the one that they could have painted.
When I used to do eBay and stuff like that, there was a caveat saying there's no paperwork or provenance with his painting, so sold in the style of or after the artist. That way you're covered by law. You could go to the auction and put it in and not say anything. And if they go yes, then it goes through, And Billy and I get all the art catalogues And quite often you'll open it up and you'll see, oh look.
So do you think auction houses kind of profit off not asking questions?
Yeah. I mean, if they can turn a blind eye.
They want it to be right, because if it isn't right, they ain't going to earn a dime.
Yeah, this is, Is it right to have a look? Yes. Yeah, Windsor and Newton, it's an old one. About 1910, 1915. Perfect for little painting. I could do a Lowry on there, couldn't I?
Yeah,
but like an early Lowry, yeah.
The whole purpose of coming in for David to have a look at some frames.
How much are these, Billy?
Let's get them out before we talk. I can't talk money in the dark, Dave. I cannot talk money in the dark.
Where's that chair? In case I faint at the price. See his rusty nails.
Oh, how did they get like that? Passes your time, really. I don't think it's a chemical process. No, don't lump them all together, Dave. They're individual prices, David. Individual price. This one, beautiful, 90 quid. You're adding it up, 70 quid.
What? This is just a little... It's from my paintings in.
So you've got Caravaggio?
Caravaggio. I think there's another one. Oh, there's Caravaggio there as well. So, Monday.
They went for the most money ever at auction.
Yeah. It did 450 million, yeah. 6.5 foot Basquiat. You could take that and do the forensics on it.
Yeah.
And it would come back as genuine.
Really?
Yeah. There's another note. I get up every day and I work 7 days a week just because I really enjoy it.
Picasso?
I mean, I do Picassos, you know. Sometimes I can do 2 or 3 in a day, you know. They're not that difficult. And I gave one to a friend of mine. He sold it. Someone bought it. And they took it to the auction. And they valued it at $1 million. And they had quite a lot of interest in it. But came out in the papers that this forger said it's his. The guy who owned it started threatening. And he told a friend of mine that goes in there that buys stuff, you know, tell him I'm going to get someone to burn his house down or put...
Your house?
My house, yeah. Put a firebomb for the letterbox.
So what do you think? Could you do those kind of forgeries at that level of expertise?
Another show, another headache. He's a credit to his race. What race is that? The 100-yard dash.